A good move. Tonight, the former Deputy Prime Minister backs the FNM's drop of Minnis, why Brent Simonet says cutting Minnis loose could be just what the party needs to win big. But first,
from stable to positive. Tonight on Our News, an international research center has the Bahamas in good standing. But what does it mean? And do the global trade wars have an impact on this?
I'm Jasmine Brown, and coming up tonight on Our News, I get an inside look and in-depth tour of the One Eleuthera Foundation.
Then in Our News at 7:30, a New York court sides with Sarkis's Merlion, upholding a $1 billion judgment against China Construction America. Could the ruling shake up Baha Mar's future? Government watching closely. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. Moody's has upgraded the Bahamas' financial outlook from stable to positive, meaning the country's financial situation is improving. This is thanks to government's efforts to reduce debt and increase revenue. And just to put things into perspective for you, Moody's is a global financial rating agency that evaluates how likely a country or company is to repay its debts. They give ratings to help investors understand the level of risk involved in lending money to a government or business, which means when Moody's upgraded the Bahamas' financial outlook from stable to positive, it means the country's finances are improving. To delve a little deeper, it means government is working to reduce its debt and increase revenue, which makes it easier to manage finances. And as a result, the Bahamas' debt is expected to shrink in the coming years. However, challenges still exist, like reliance on tourism and the risk of climate change. Now, why this matters is because a better rating can attract more investors. It can help lower borrowing costs and make it easier for government to manage its financial obligations. Now, if government continues these positive efforts, the country could see an even better rating in the future. But for now, Moody's assessment suggests it's unlikely the rating will go down unless there is a major setback. And that sound economic outlook from Moody's is being met with lots of optimism. This periodic assessment by the international body tracks the global fiscal standing, providing data essential to investors and financial institutions. Our Joshua Williams, he breaks it all down.
Moody's, an international finance research data center, has the Bahamas in good fiscal standing. But what does it mean? Will it continue, and does the current global trade war have an impact on this? From stable to positive, the latest economic outlook by Moody's. The positive outlook reflects the likelihood that the Bahamas' credit profile will get better over time. But what does it mean? Manager of Corporate Advisory Services at CFAL, Angelo Butler, explains it this way.
It's kind of like a ranking system, and in this case, it's just telling investors that, previously they believed the Bahamas' outlook was stable, but now given some of the recent changes that the government has made, improvements in the financial position, that, the outlook is more positive.
While the outlook is positive, the long-term issuer and senior unsecured ratings remains at B1.
It goes alphabetically, so like the most highly rated countries like the United States would have ratings that begin with A.
Moody's expects a surplus increase to 4.5% of GDP next fiscal year. That's up from 3.2% of GDP this year, driven by higher revenue collection and discipline with expenditure. The report also noting the primary balance shifting to a surplus of 2.9% of GDP last year and up from a deficit of 1.4% of GDP in 2022. The Office of the Prime Minister touts the improved rating as evidence of the Davis administration's commitment to bouncing back from the COVID-19 pandemic.
A significant moment that signals to the global financial community that the Bahamas is back on solid footing, and it didn't happen by chance.
But the questions remain. Will looming global trade wars have any impact? And what does it mean for consumers?
If the tariffs, the expectation is that if the tariffs continue exactly as they are, it would cause some sort of slowdown in the global economy, right? And if the U.S. economy slows down, the global economy slows down, and the expectation is that the Bahamas economy or the Bahamian economy itself will slow down.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks so much for that, Josh. The F&M's shocking decision to drop former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis ahead of the next election, still sending shockwaves through Bahamian politics. And with all eyes on what he'll do next, former Deputy Prime Minister Brent Simonet is entering the chat. Simonet says the move could actually boost the party's chances of reclaiming power. Berthany McDermott is following this.
I think it will impact it positively, because it brings to an end the whole question of whether or not he's going to run.
With the Free National Movement still getting the heat from its decision to not ratify former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis in the next general election, former Deputy Prime Minister Brent Simonet believes it will help push the party forward. F&M leader Michael Pintard told Abaco Mackey Street headquarters on Sunday that he has asked Dr. Minnis not to run in the upcoming general election. Pintard said the reality is not everyone is going to serve as a candidate to demonstrate their value. Pintard, however, admitted that Dr. Minnis did not agree not to seek re-election. Simonet believes Dr. Minnis should just retire.
The Westminster system, when a prime minister or leader of a party calls an election and loses, and in this case loses as badly as Dr. Minnis did the last time, with the lowest voter turnout in history, I think, it is usual for that person to either not run again or find a suitable time and when he tenders his resignation.
Many have weighed in on the F&M's decision. Former F&M cabinet minister and DNA leader Branville McCartney questioned the move, saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it, while a few of his constituents sided with Dr. Minnis. It has been radio silence in the Minnis camp in recent days. Attempts to reach him have been unsuccessful. It is unclear if Dr. Minnis will bow out, side with another party, or run as an independent. We asked him that if this will impact the F&M's ability to retain the Killarney seat. He says it all depends on if Dr. Minnis runs as an independent candidate.
I can't project what the feeling will be. I don't know who the F&M's candidate will be. But, that would be dependent on that. If he's strong enough to run by himself, without the party, that's a theme. But I don't think it should come to that, and I think it would be unfortunate if he did.
Reporting for our news, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Berthany. The third time's a charm for a man accused of murder. This is 22-year-old Brandon Major was granted bail after 3 applications. Major stands accused for the stabbing murder of Sanchez Giddens at a bar on East Street South in January 2024. Justice Franklin Williams KC set bail at $20,000 after prosecutors had previously objected to his release. Major will wear an ankle bracelet, observe a curfew, and check in daily at a police station as he awaits trial. The Public Hospitals Authority addressing recent claims of a critical ambulance shortage. The issue has raised alarm with reports of only 3 operational units available to meet emergency transport needs. Emergency medical technicians recently told the Tribune the remaining ambulances are out of service, putting pressure on the island's emergency response system. But PHA Managing Director Dr. Abinette Rolls says the shortage has more to do with maintenance delays rather than a lack of vehicles.
These ambulances are just like hospitals. The doors are open 24/7, there's no downtime. So the ability to get the mechanics to do the PMs on them is an issue. Also, some of them are old and the failing parts from Ford, etc. And this is why we're moving to sort of organize to get persons trained who's going to be a part of our team to be able to deal with it. So we've been dealing with maintenance with Friendly Ford and other persons on the outside, but we've struggled with that.
Now, one EMT has claimed that at least 8 ambulances are needed to adequately cover New Providence's emergency transport demands. However, Dr. Rolls stressed the importance of collaborating with other agencies when emergency vehicles are out of service. Asked whether she's been in communication with these professionals, Rolls responded this way.
And having constant communication with the director and the deputy director, and also having constant team meetings with the team. It really depends on what element of the story that you're getting and the reality of the story. What we do know is that there have been certain elements in that particular type of ambulance that was an issue, but we went and we procured and changed out every part of it, even for those that were not having issues, to sort of mitigate the potential of it happening.
All right, and now to Eleuthera, where over the last 13 years, the One Eleuthera Foundation has continued to expand its reach. It's now a thriving nonprofit that has become a vital part of the Family Island community. Our Jasmine Brown was recently there. She toured the property and has this report.
From the economy to education to the environment, the One Eleuthera Foundation has just about it all. And I toured the facility to find out how they're getting it all done. The One Eleuthera Foundation and Center for Training and Innovation is located on a sprawling property in Rock Sound, Eleuthera. It's also home to a head office and a 16-room bungalow-style vintage resort named The Retreat. There's also a restaurant on site that serves farm-to-table dishes made with fresh produce harvested from their training farm that's just a few feet away. President and CEO of One Eleuthera Foundation, Kieran Smith, says their focus is empowering the community.
We've always seen ourselves as charting a way forward and doing things a little bit different and showing what's possible.
In many ways, it's a self-sustaining nonprofit that gives back to its community.
When you look at One Eleuthera, it encompasses so much. We talk about vocational and technical training for students so that they can have a better path for upward mobility in the community. Also looking at food security and how we're producing and providing so much fresh produce.
And we got to see that firsthand. One of our stops on the tour was the Oasis Grow House, a 1.1-acre fully automated facility that creates the optimum growing conditions for crops to thrive in tropical climates. It's the first of its kind in the country, and according to crop production officer Selena Haber, it's a game changer in the local farming industry. The Grow House is a part of One Eleuthera's Center for Training and Innovation facility. Haber says a part of their work is training local farmers.
By us using this structure and demonstrating that the possibility of growing for longer times of the year, it's extremely important to show that it is possible. We are also providing fresh produce to the entire island of Eleuthera, and it's been very well received.
While One Eleuthera is continuing its work in the community, there's a family-owned and operated hotel that's doing its part to bring visitors to the Tarpon Bay community. That story's coming up tomorrow. Reporting from Rock Sound, Eleuthera for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right, thanks for that, Jasmine. Certainly looking forward to that. We've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg, we've been focused on Family Islands. We just heard from Eleuthera. Tarpon Bay, I'm excited for that story tomorrow, but I know you got some more photos from Rum Key tonight.
Yeah. Before I get to that, my grandfather's from Eleuthera too, so I've spent all my childhood in Vim's Pite. So hello to the McKinneys.
And hello to everyone in Tarpon Bay as well.
We've been getting some photos out. And I'll be borrowing one from Rum Key once again this evening. Lovely sunset out there, even though current conditions are for here in the capital. 82 degrees outside right now, few clouds and warm south-southeast winds at 9 miles per hour. Your face-like temperature is at 82. Speaking of those photos from the islands, this is Rum Key, a couple of shots. Welcome to Rum Key. And they got a little sign showing spots there. Beautiful water on the outside there as well. Taking another look at the beaches. So we are known for what we have: sun, sand, and sea. And we are asking you to provide us with those photos. Make sure you send them to our news at capeofbahamas.com. And make sure you address it to Greg so we could put your photos up. You never know, you may see yours tomorrow evening. Current temperatures outside the studios right now: 74, Freeport, rain cool. 81 in Abaco, Marsh Harbor. 75 in Alistown, Bimini. Over in Great Harbor Key, 79. We pick up 82s in Nicholstown and Ross here in the capital, and you have some showers across the northwest Bahamas, all associated with the frontal boundary that's dropping, and you see that in the satellite picture. Governor's Harper, 81. We got a little ahead of ourselves here. Central Bahamas, 86. Kemps Bay, pick up 81s. Georgetown, Deadman's Key, Arthurstown, Cat Island. Coburn, Townsend, Salvador, 79. 81s in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay. 79 in Duncantown, Ragged Island. 80 in Abrahams Bay. 82 Providenciales, Tricks and Caicos Islands, deep south, Matthewtown, Inagua. You round out our temperature profile at 81. Active frontal boundary now dropping into the northwest Bahamas. Quite a bit of our showers and thunderstorms associated with that. Had some severe thunderstorm warnings issued for portions of the northwest Bahamas, northern Bahamas actually, Grand Bahama, the Abacos, even Bimini. Got some trailing moisture That's all associated with the boundary that we expect to drop into the northwest Bahamas later on tonight, moving into the capital by early tomorrow morning and across the central Bahamas by tomorrow afternoon. So more showers and thunderstorms expected. We have a severe weather watch actually for the northwest Bahamas for these thunderstorms. So make sure you listen to the advisement from the Department of Meteorology for any further updates. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us and look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, think of the Bahamas' largest team you've ever seen travel to Carifta. Well, this one's bigger. We'll get into who made the cut.
The moment we've been waiting for is here. Carifta 2025 is taking over and RTV is bringing you every thrilling moment. It's time to rally behind Team Bahamas as they go for gold, glory, and greatness. Feel the energy as we witness the best athletes the Caribbean has to offer. April 19th through the 21st, live from Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Catch every sprint, every throw, every victory exclusively on RTV. Plus, don't miss our daily updates from Carifta Swimming. The best of Carifta, the best of Team Bahamas, the best coverage only on RTV.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not one, but two NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
Welcome to Our Sports is 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. The trials are done. So is the selection process. And now we wrap ourselves in the flag and get ready to cheer on Team Bahamas. The B3As has selected and ratified a 78-member team to represent the Bahamas at the 52nd Carifta Track and Field Championships, April 19th through 21st at the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Trinidad and Tobago. Derek Wells was named the head coach. The 78-member team is second only to the 2023 team of 80 athletes when the Bahamas hosted the event at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Thus far, the Bahamas has named the largest team of any nation headed to this year's meet. Perennial champions Jamaica will chase their 39th consecutive title with a 76-member team. The host Trinidad and Tobago recently held their trials over the weekend, but have yet to officially name their team.
After spending 3 years with the Creighton Blue Jays, Frederick King is officially on the move.
Finally,
King has committed to the Murray State Racers and joins a program under head coach Ryan Miller. Miller, who was announced as the Racers' head coach last month, was also reportedly heavily involved in King's original recruitment to Creighton. King played sparingly in the Blue Jays lineup for years behind the Big East Player of the Year, Ryan Cockbrenner.
there's even more activity for Bahamian hoopers on the transaction wire this offseason. Dayton Albury could be headed to a new program next fall. After one season with the Utah State Aggies, Dayton Albury has entered his name into the NCAA transfer portal. He appeared in 34 games with 24 starts and averaged 7.8 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 1.7 assists per game. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as Wall Street rallies with major gains as talk of easing trade tensions lifts investor confidence. But analysts warn the volatility from Trump's tariffs may be far from over. Plus, another child has died as measles cases surge past 500 in Texas, now spreading to 22 states and sparking nationwide concern. And a packed nightclub turns deadly in Santo Domingo. At least 27 dead, over 150 injured during a concert. We'll tell you the latest rescue efforts when our news returns.
Sasha Lightborn here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow all of the R News social media pages to make sure that you don't miss those top stories from the team you already trust.
Moment we've been waiting for is here. Carifta 2025 is taking over and RTV is bringing you every thrilling moment. It's time to rally behind Team Bahamas as they go for gold, glory, and greatness. Feel the energy as we witness the best athletes the Caribbean has to offer. April 19th through the 21st, live from Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Catch every sprint, every throw, every victory exclusively on RTV. Plus, don't miss our daily updates from Carifta Swimming. The best of Carifta, the best of Team Bahamas, the best coverage only on RTV.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. U.S. and European markets rebounded Friday with the S&P 500, Dow, and NASDAQ all jumping around 4%, lifted by hopes that trade tensions could ease. Major tech names like Nvidia and Tesla led the gains, while European indexes also closed more than 3% higher. Optimism followed President Trump's comments that negotiations are underway with South Korea and Japan, but not everyone's convinced the worst is over, as analysts say markets are still on edge, reacting sharply to every trade-related move. Meanwhile, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent called China's tariffs retaliation a big mistake after Trump warned Beijing to back down or face even steeper penalties. Meanwhile, China pulling out all the stops to stabilize its stock market. The Chinese central bank says it's backing state-owned Central Huijin to ramp up purchases of stock index funds with re-lending support if needed. Local financial regulators are also loosening rules to allow more equity investments, and the National Social Security Fund increased its domestic stock holdings. Several major state-owned enterprises, including Sinopec and China Chengtong, are joining in with stock buybacks. Officials say these moves are all about restoring confidence and keeping markets steady. And thousands recently took to the streets across all 50 states in the United States Saturday in the biggest protest yet against President Trump since his return to office. The hands-off rallies hit more than 1,200 cities, with demonstrators slamming the administration's cuts to federal agencies, immigration crackdowns, and rollbacks on LGBTQ+ rights. Elon Musk, now heading the new Department of Government Efficiency, was also a target, accused of gutting key programs. While protests stayed peaceful, activists say the stakes feel personal and that the resistance is just getting started. Texas state officials are reporting that another child with measles has died. The outbreak of the childhood disease has now resulted in over 500 cases there and has spread across 22 states. Gabe Singer has the latest.
A second child with measles has died in Texas in an outbreak of the childhood disease that has resulted in nearly 500 cases in Texas and has spread across 22 states. On Sunday, Texas health officials said the unvaccinated school-aged child, who had no underlying health conditions, had died in the hospital on Thursday from measles pulmonary failure. The outbreak began in late January in Gaines County, where the vaccination rate is about 82%. That's below the 95% considered protective for those who cannot be vaccinated. CDC officials said 97% of U.S. cases are unvaccinated or have an unknown vaccination status. In a post on X, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. identified the child as 8-year-old Daisy Hildebrand and said he visited Texas on Sunday to comfort the family. Kennedy is an anti-vaccine advocate who has declared that vaccination is a personal choice. He has previously recommended vitamin A as a measles treatment, along with good nutrition. While vitamin A has been shown in some studies in developing countries to lessen the severity of symptoms, It can lead to liver toxicity in high quantities. However, on Sunday, Kennedy said the best protection against measles was the vaccine, which is 97% effective after 2 shots. When asked about the new measles death, U.S. President Donald Trump said that if the outbreak progresses, his administration will, quote, have to take action very strongly.
And authorities say at least 27 people are dead and more than 150 injured after the roof collapsed at a packed nightclub in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. The incident happened early Tuesday during a performance by popular merengue singer Ruby Perez at Jet Set nightclub. Rescue teams of about 400 strong are still searching for survivors under the rubble. It is unclear what caused the collapse, but video from inside shows concert goers enjoying the show seconds before disaster struck. President Luis Abinader has offered condolences as families wait anxiously for updates. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was April 8th. Then in our news at 7:30, Pintard breaks his silence on Iram Lewis's defection from the FNM, telling Central GB supporters that Lewis should have consulted them. And residents furious over an ongoing sewage leak in eastern New Providence. Joshua Williams has more from the Neighborhood Association president when our news returns.
The moment we've been waiting for is here. Carifta 2025 is taking over and RTV is bringing you every thrilling moment. It's time to rally behind Team Bahamas as they go for gold, glory, and greatness. Feel the energy as we witness the best athletes the Caribbean has to offer. April 19th through the 21st, live from Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Catch every sprint, every throw, every victory exclusively on RTV. Plus, don't miss our daily updates from Carifta Swimming. The best of Carifta, the best of Team Bahamas, the best coverage only on RTV.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not 1, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
This day in Bahamian history, in 1819, William Edward Armbristow was born in Camp Estates in Salvador. He served more than 20 years in Parliament and led both the executive and legislative councils. The ruins of his plantation house on Cat Island still stand today. In 2011, the $28 million Harry C. Moore Library officially opened at the then College of the Bahamas, marking a major step toward university status. With space for 650 users, it holds up to 150,000 volumes. And in 2019, police launched a probe into a damning audit of the National Sports Authority. Then Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis sent the report to police. Former Sports Minister Dr. Daniel Johnson defended his record in a fiery radio interview. If you want to learn more about the day that was April 8th, head over to ournews.bs. And again, to see that and all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. And of course, you can share your favorite stories right from the Our News Bahamas Facebook page. That's going to do it for us in News at 7, though. Joining us now is our Talia Hall. She has got the latest headlines. Talia?
Hi, Ken. Happy Tuesday.
You know why I'm laughing at you.
Yeah, I'm sure. But hey.
Inside jokes.
Yes. For sure.
I'll
Thanks.
leave it there.
Mistakes happen.
Yeah.
Well, coming up, the world-famous Valley Boys chairman addresses the ongoing saga and shares early plans for the upcoming parades. Here are your latest headlines.
First tonight on our news live at 7:30, an Eastern New Providence neighborhood says their months-long struggle with overflowing sewer lines is not just frustrating, it's now becoming dangerous. Plus, after a major decision by a New York Court of Appeal upholding a $1.642 billion judgment in favor of the original developer of the Baha Mar resort, the Office of the Prime Minister is weighing in. Also, a man is dead following a heated altercation in Grand Bahama, becoming the nation's latest homicide victim. And later, the Free National Movement's leader says Central Grand Bahama MP Iram Lewis skipped a crucial step before joining the Coalition of Independence. That's all coming up when our news returns.
There tomorrow. Will we still have beaches to walk on? Will the air still be fresh? Will we have done enough to protect you? There tomorrow. Will you be a place where children still hear birds sing? Where forests still stand tall? Or will we leave you with skies too choked to breathe and oceans too broken to heal? There tomorrow. Will there even be a tomorrow if we're too late? Tomorrow is never promised, but while we have today, we can choose to protect you. One small step at a time. Let's act now.
Diet-friendly special.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision's actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th, only on RTV.
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Italia Hall. Moody's has upgraded the Bahamas' financial outlook from stable to positive, meaning the country's financial situation is improving. This is thanks to the government's efforts to reduce debt and increase revenue. And to just put things into perspective for you, Moody's is a global financial rating agency that evaluates how likely a country or company is going to repay its debts. They give ratings to help investors understand the level of risk involved in lending money to a government or business, which means when Moody's upgraded the Bahamas' financial outlook from stable to positive, it means the country's finances are improving. To delve a little deeper, it means government is working to reduce its debt and increase revenue, which makes it easier to manage finances. And as a result, the Bahamas' debt is expected to shrink in the coming years. However, challenges still exist, like reliance on tourism and the risk of climate change. And why this matters is because a better rating can attract more investors, help lower borrowing costs, and make it easier for government to manage its financial obligations. And if government continues these positive efforts, the country could see an even better rating in the future. But for now, Moody's assessment suggests it's unlikely the rating will go down unless there's a major setback. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Philip Davis said in a statement that since taking office, government has focused on reducing debt, restoring fiscal stability, and implementing long-term reforms. But even with a growing economy, Davis said the work is far from over. To learn more about this, head over to ournews.bs or on the Our News Bahamas Facebook page. A New York appeals court has upheld a $1.642 billion judgment in favor of Baha Mar's original developer, Sarkis Ismailian. The appellate division of the New York State Supreme Court dismissed all appeals by China Construction America, affirming a lower court's finding that the contractor committed fraud and breached his contract over the resort's failed launch. Last November, a judge awarded Ismailian the full value of his lost investment plus more than a decade of interest. CCA blamed the collapse on mismanagement and overspending, but the court rejected that claim, finalizing the damages award. Communications Director Latre Ramming was asked if the ruling is concerning for the Davis administration, since Ismailian could potentially liquidate hotels still under CCA's control, putting jobs at risk. He was also asked if government has a contingency plan or has spoken with CCA. Ramming said it's something they'll be looking into.
This is the first time I'm hearing of that development. I've not been apprised of that. Obviously, it's something that the government would have to look into and review it, but it would be difficult to me to give a response on it because I have not seen the ruling or made aware of the development.
All right, now turning to Grand Bahama, this as police are investigating a deadly shooting that happened Monday evening in the Lakaya area. According to initial reports, the incident unfolded shortly before 6 on Ludford Drive, just off Churchill Drive, and claimed the life of a man. When our news team arrived on the scene, the area had already been cordoned off by officers. We spoke with Superintendent Nicholas Johnson, officer in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department in the Northern Division. He shared more details about what officers discovered once they arrived.
On arrival at Ludford Drive, they were directed to the rear of an apartment complex where the body of a male was seen lying on the ground. Upon examination, it appeared that the male was suffering from gunshot injuries about the body. As a result, EMS quickly examined the male and found no signs of life. He was unresponsive. At this time, an investigation has been launched to determine who was responsible for this incident. And we're asking anyone who may have been in the area or who may have seen or have any information as relates to this incident to contact 911, your nearest police station, or the Criminal Investigation Department at 350-3106-9.
Well, Superintendent Johnson also confirmed that one person was taken into custody at the scene and is assisting with the investigation. It was later reported that the incident stemmed from an argument between two men that turned physical during that altercation. One of them reportedly pulled out a gun and fired. The other man fled the scene in a silver Honda heading in an unknown direction. Prosecutors discontinued a rape case against a senior policeman after his accuser withdrew her complaint today. Superintendent Kyle Capron was charged with raping the 25-year-old woman last October. Capron, who previously headed the K-9 unit, spent a week on remand at the prison before he was freed on a $9,900 bail and fitted with an electronic monitoring bracelet. Capron had been suspended from duty pending the outcome of the case. Well, days after Central Grand Bahama Member of Parliament Iram Lewis resigned from the Free National Movement and joined the Coalition of Independents, the FNM held a zone meeting in Central Grand Bahama. Party leader Michael Pintard addressed the matter with constituents, suggesting Lewis did not consult constituents before making his decision.
I do not have the right to make a decision about a trust you have placed in my hand by not consulting you to see what your views are on the issues that may plague me. Oh, I regret that a wiser decision was not made, not so much not to go, but at least to have a conversation with you. Those of you that fried the fish and count fritters and held fundraisers.
The party has trod a rocky road since his 2021 election defeat, with two leadership battles where Michael Pintard came out on top. Now it seems the party is again in turmoil as Iram Lewis left and joined the COI, and the party rejected former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis in the upcoming election. Still, party officials says the next election will be in the FNM's corner. At the meeting Monday evening, Deputy Leader Shannon Don Cartwright said this to party supporters.
FNMs, as we get ready for this election, just hold tight. Go to every corner, every bar, everywhere you can go, every park, and let people of Grand Bahama know that that the Free National Movement is ready to become the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Well, residents in one eastern New Providence community are fed up with a sewage leak, telling Our News the months-long issue is not only an inconvenience, but a health hazard. Our Joshua Williams spoke to the local neighborhood association president, who says the situation needs to be addressed.
Take a look at these shocking videos. It appears to be sewage leaking across the street from a nearby apartment. Concerned residents in Star Estates in eastern New Providence contacted Our News about the issue, saying they're beyond frustrated as they feel the situation has been ignored for too long by authorities. Its neighborhood association president, Brent Roll, tells me the issue has persisted since December.
Extremely heavy. I've made a report to the police station for some assistance. We've reached out to different agencies. It was stopped at one point. Started again for another 2-3 months ago. Since then, we've been trying to get someone to come out to see how to deal with this.
And of course, for Roll, health implications are a major concern.
Well, I hope we can hurry and move, because you're talking about sewer. Any type of germs, airborne, splashes, you could be driving through in your car, windows down, you get splashed, unknown to you that this is sewer water on the ground.
Roll says it's a vexing issue he and his fellow residents have dealt with for some time now, adding that he himself has tried to remedy the problem.
There was once a juice company in this building. There was overflow from that same water system. I have used foam from the cans, spray foam, to block the seepage from that property. As the foam wears out, it continued to flow.
Roll claims environment officials have visited the site before, but the situation still persists. I reached out to State Minister for the Environment, Zane Lightbourne, who also serves as MP for the area. He tells me he's alerted officials at the Water and Sewage Corporation, adding that he planned on following up to ensure the situation is resolved. But for Roll and other frustrated residents, it's simply taking too long.
Well, I'm quite sure the powers that be will see and realize that we are serious about getting some assistance with this. We don't know who the property owners are. If we could get some assistance, I could offer my service pro bono to have this resolved.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks so much for that, Josh. Well, coming up, a mother in Abaco shares what life is like following a home fire. She's without a home, but she's full of hope. We'll get to that story in about 4 minutes. But first, nice weather conditions on this Tuesday, but we may see a cold front soon. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is live in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg, how's it looking?
Soon. Like in a few hours.
We
can start seeing some clouds are starting to move into the capital right now, but they're all across the northwest Bahamas. But outside our studios, we still have a bit of some clearing. 81 degrees, it's warm on the outside, few clouds. Winds out of the south at 8 miles per hour, feels like temperature very humid, 82 on the outside as well. This is what we're looking at, the setup. Cold front, very active one moving across the northwest Bahamas, prompting some severe thunderstorm warnings early across portions of the northwest Bahamas. We expect that to continue to side towards the south. Some upper level energy will help to energize this front, so we're looking for more showers and possible isolated thunderstorms. Some of them will be strong to severe times. So we have a severe thunderstorm watch for the northwest Bahamas with this front. Look for some showers later on, but it should be clearing up by the middle to the end of the week. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come in our news, a mother on the island of Abaco without a home following a fire tonight. She opens up about the harsh realities she's facing. Also, as tensions lingers between the two Valley Boys factions, the chairman of the original Valley Boys group says only one set of people matters when it comes to making an apology. And nearly 2 decades in, the Keep Grand Bahama Clean Committee is showing no signs of slowing in their push for environmental awareness. We'll tell you all about Litter Free Month when our news returns. Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision is actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th only on RTV.
Every season creates an opportunity for you to enjoy the comfort and security of your most valuable assets. Unfortunately, termites are common and very unwanted guests that never stop eating. With Struckum, you can enjoy the peace of mind as we protect your investment with our 3-year fumigation warranty. Struckum, #1 in pest control services.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set up all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set up all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Setamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
A single mother of 2 needs your help after a fire tore through her family's Abaco home and business, destroying everything they owned in minutes. Our Delvardo Emmanuel has her story in this report.
Florence Roker and her 2 daughters' lives were turned upside down in an instant when a bushfire, which had been raging for days, consumed their property. It all began on March 30th, shortly after Florence took her 2 daughters to the beach. But what was supposed to be a day of family fun turned into tragedy. They returned home hours later to find smoke and flames dangerously close to their home.
By the time I got there, the place was filled with smoke, and the firefighters were there doing the best they could, but they wouldn't allow me at that point to go to the property.
When the all clear was given, the family managed to grab a few items, but she said it can't compare to years of memories they built. The family has called Abaco home since 2021. And Roka said the trailer wasn't just a place to live. It was a sanctuary and a source of her income.
Everything in the house, fridge, stove, beds, books, memorabilia, everything. I sew, and I do crafts, I do t-shirts. That was my livelihood. All my machines are gone.
Her youngest daughter, 12-year-old Gianna, lost most of her clothes and school supplies. Her oldest, 16-year-old Ramaya, who's an athlete, was preparing for nationals and lost her uniform and gear. Despite all of this, their mom remains grateful.
I want to use this time to dream again. I want to use this opportunity to make God proud.
Since the fire, Florence and her 2 daughters have been staying with a family from the church they attend. She's now making a public plea for not just herself, but for her children, to help them recover, continue school, and eventually have a place to call home.
This is very difficult for me. I'm not the one who is good at asking for help for myself, but I'll put myself aside as usual, and I'm going to ask for help for my girls. I want them to have a normal life.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvardo Emmanuel.
All right, thanks so much for that, Delvardo. Well, the world-famous Valley Boys chairman says there's only one group of people he needs to apologize to for the ongoing saga concerning the group. He also shared plans for the upcoming parades. Our Sasha Lightborn reports.
I'd want to say that I'd want to apologize to the Bahamian public for having to listen and view these types of things. But we didn't start this. And we don't carry on like that.
World-famous Valley Boys chairman Brian Adderley had that strong response when I asked him about the ongoing saga between his group and the Way Forward Valley Boys led by Trevor Davis. Adderley says nothing will stop his group and he plans to press on. Just last week, the Registrar General struck the world-famous Valley Boys off the Register of Non-Profits, citing non-compliance with directives under the Non-Profit Organizations Act. And while he did not speak to their legal matters, he did share this about the upcoming parade season, beginning with the Easter Parade on Easter Monday.
The JCNP invites its members to participate in these various parades. And I'm sure in due course we will probably meet to discuss that, amongst other things.
And he says they're also focusing on the bigger parades.
We're making preparations mentally and physically to win the upcoming parades. I see there's a lot of focus on the Saxons, and everybody is saying that the Saxons need to be stopped, but there are other Junkanoo groups out there who are just as competitive with the Saxons. And so we have to prepare and be ready to beat all of them.
Community is also a big part of the foundation of the group, and Adderley says the public will hear more about their outreach plans very soon.
There are a number of community outreach projects that we have identified, and we're also going to be doing some internal stuff. As we get new members, they need to understand what it means to be a volleyball and also to understand the craft.
Reporting for our news, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, the Keep Grand Bahama Clean Committee, committed to the island of Grand Bahama nearly 2 decades later, hear about their partnership with several environmental organizations coming up.
Coming up in sports, find out who made the cut for Team Bahamas and Carifta Athletics, and we're back to NCAA transfer portal talk. Who's in, who's out?
And Greg is back with the extended weather when our news continues. Stay with us.
The moment we've been waiting for is here. Carifta 2025 is taking over, and RTV is bringing you every thrilling moment. It's time to rally behind Team Bahamas as they go for gold, glory, and greatness. Feel the energy as we witness the best athletes the Caribbean has to offer. April 19th through the 21st, live from Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Catch every sprint, every throw, every victory exclusively on RTV. Plus, don't miss our daily updates from Carifta Swimming. The best of Carifta, the best of Team Bahamas, the best coverage only on RTV.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's Joan Mark Nutt. Let's do show. The trials are done, so is the selection process, and now we wrap ourselves in the flag and get ready to cheer on Team Bahamas. The B3As has selected and ratified a 78-member team to represent the Bahamas at the 52nd Carifta Track and Field Championships, April 19th through 21st at the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Trinidad and Tobago.
I just want to say that this was not a very easy task. In fact, we went through several rounds. We went through the selection committee. We convened a meeting with the executive board. And this evening we met with the entire coaching community. And Demetrius Pinder can tell you we had a big fight in here. But in the end, we left this place choosing the very best team.
Derek Wells was named the head coach. The remainder of his staff includes Bernard Newbold, Chriselle Roll, Alexis Roberts, James Roll, Kyle Higgs, and Kenny Moxie. Lakita Charlton is the team manager, assisted by Sophia Higgs, while Dr. Kent Bazard is the team doctor. The 78-member team is second only to the 2023 team of 80 athletes when the Bahamas hosted the event at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium.
This team is very strong. I have high hopes for this team. I think we're going to do really, really well. I just want y'all to keep us in prayers, keep the kids motivated, the ones that didn't make it, and you were close, stay encouraged, because this is where it starts. Champions starts here.
Thus far, the Bahamas has named the largest team of any nation headed to this year's meet. Perennial champions Jamaica will chase their 39th consecutive title with a 76-member team.
Barbados will field a 52-member team, while Grenada and Guyana will have 33 and 30 respectively. The host Trinidad and Tobago recently held their trials over the weekend, but have yet to officially name their team.
After spending 3 years with the Creighton Blue Jays, Frederick King is officially on the move.
Finally,
King has committed to the Murray State Racers and joins a program under head coach Ryan Miller. Miller, who was announced as the Racers head coach last month, was also reportedly heavily involved in King's original recruitment to Creighton. King played sparingly in the Blue Jays lineup for years behind the Big East Player of the Year, Ryan Cockbrenner. He averaged 2.6 points and 2.2 rebounds in just over 6 minutes per game last season. For his Creighton career, he appeared in 103 games with 4 starts and averaged 2.9 points per game.
There's even more activity for Bahamian hoopers on the transaction wire this offseason. Dayton Albury could be headed to a new program next fall. After one season with the Utah State Aggies, Dayton Albury has entered his name into the NCAA transfer portal. He appeared in 34 games with 24 starts and averaged 7.8 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 1.7 assists per game. He also shot 55% from the field and 43% from 3. At the senior national team level, Albury also appeared in the World Cup qualifier and Olympic qualifying tournaments. Prior to Utah State, Albury spent a season with Queen's University where he was named the ASUN Newcomer of the Year and All ASUN third team selection. He averaged 17 points, 5.8 boards, and a team-leading 3.6 assists per game. There's still quite a number of Bahamian hoopers in the portal, including AJ Storr, Romad Dean, Verone Charlton, and Rima Collins. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. Okay, that's the list, right? It's official, it's ratified, we're good.
Barring any injury, I think so.
All right, there you have it. Be safe in your arguments, people. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight, the Keep Grand Bahama Clean Committee of the Grand Bahama Port Authority committed to the cause. Nearly 2 decades later, hear about some of their plans for the month of April straight ahead. And residents are enjoying great weather to kick off the week, but will it last? Greg is back with the answer when our news returns.
The moment we've been waiting for is here. Carifta 2025 is taking over and RTV is bringing you every thrilling moment. It's time to rally behind Team Bahamas as they go for gold, glory, and greatness. Feel the energy as we witness the best athletes the Caribbean has to offer. April 19th through the 21st, live from Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Catch every sprint, every throw, every victory exclusively on RTV. Plus, don't miss our daily updates from Carifta Swimming. The best of Carifta, the best of Team Bahamas, the best coverage only on RTV.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not 1, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
This is our news. Welcome back. If you're praying for some rain, well, here it comes. Cold front now pushing into the northwest Bahamas. Very active. Lots of showers and thunderstorms associated with the boundary. Even having some severe thunderstorm warning boxes posted earlier for portions of the northwest Bahamas. We do expect this front to continue to sag slowly towards the southeast. Should be just around the capital by midnight or early in the morning, and then moving across the central Bahamas by tomorrow afternoon. Some energy aloft will help to energize this front, so we have a severe thunderstorm watch for the entire northwest Bahamas tonight to tomorrow, and that is likely to move into the central Bahamas once that front goes through there. Behind that, a nice change in air mass expected, and conditions would be rather nice for the remainder of the week. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with the boundary dropping across that area, and As I mentioned, energy pushing across our area. Looking for some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms once the front pushes into the central Bahamas tomorrow. Boarding forecast, winds behind the front, west to northwest, 10 to 15 knots. They will be gusting high at times, seas running 2 to 4 feet. Tide is presently high, will be low at 12 minutes past midnight. Your next high tide will be at 6:21 in the morning. Central and southeast Bahamas, southeast to southerly flow 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, showers and thunderstorms in the forecast tomorrow. Temperatures will be near the 80-degree mark. We will continue that through Thursday. Slight warm-up, but we do expect another front by Saturday. That should drop our temperatures a little bit. We're looking for some 60s for the early part of next week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Craig. Well, a cleaner, greener Grand Bahama. That's the mission for the Keep Grand Bahama Clean Committee of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, which started 18 years ago as an idea to encourage residents to take pride in their surroundings, has evolved into a full month dedicated to promoting a litter-free island. And for the past 6 years, Partners Against Litter has helped bring new energy to the cause. Chairperson of the committee, Nakira Wilshcombe, says they are grateful to their partners.
And we've seen the importance of litter not being on our grounds, not decorating our streets. And so we always send out that clarion call to persons on the importance of keeping a clean environment, the importance of participating with us, and the importance of being intentional about not littering their surroundings. And so we're pleased to have our partners here with us today who are also in this fight of keeping a clean surrounding.
The Ministry of Tourism's Sustainable Tourism Division and Waterkeepers Bahamas are a few of the organizations on board.
One of the things that we're doing within the Sustainable Tourism Development Department is having an entire month of coastal awareness. And so during that month, we're doing a number of educational processing within the schools. We are talking with civic organizations.
We've been doing a lot of mangrove restoration work in the Dover Sound area, and through that work we've noticed that a lot of debris and trash has come up on shore following Hurricane Dorian. So as part of our mangrove restoration efforts, we also want to do our part in keeping that area of Dover Sound clean. And so on the 12th of April, we will be having a canal clean sweep. You can go out on the boats and clean up trash.
All right, such a great effort. And with that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening. Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.